Spring always feels like opening a beautiful journal again, like turning to a fresh page filled with light and possibility. And yet, many of us find ourselves far away from the kind of spring we imagine. The quiet countryside, the slow mornings, the feeling of being completely at home in the season. I think in another life I might have been a little hobbit, tending a garden, baking something simple, living gently close to the earth, where mornings begin with birdsong and soft light on wooden tables, and everything feels just a little slower, kinder. But in my life, spring often slipped through my fingers, lost between busy days and passing weeks. It's faster, louder, following the rhythm of the city, and as someone who feels things deeply, it can all become a little too overwhelming. Over the years, I've been creating little glimpses of that dream life, to inspire, to dream, to create beauty and art. But this year, I want to turn art into real life, even if it's little by little, one glimmer at a time. This video is a collection of those glimmers for you to return to whenever a soft moment finds you. Activities. Working with your hands can be very grounding. Do not fear your skills or talents. None of that is necessary to have a good time. Handmade touches. You might try embroidery, something simple like a fabric bookmark, a small bracelet, or even little covers for your jars. Or sewing floral bags for your travels, your books, or your everyday essentials. Quilt making can also be a beautiful project. For those with less patience, like me, try sewing floral fabric squares with cotton lace. Watercolors are another gentle way to create, whether on paper or fabric. You can also explore playful materials, shaping air-dry clay into botanical coasters or little bells. Pressing herbs into their surface is so much fun. Painting flowers onto a glass bottle, turning something ordinary into something magical. And for something whimsical yet very simple, you can make a delicate paper garland to decorate a loaf of bread or a homemade cake. Flowers everywhere. Let's start with something simple, like decorating a glass jar with pressed flowers to use as candle holders. You can also use floral napkins with the decoupage technique, not only for jars, but for coasters, boxes, trays, and little objects around your home. Another way to bring flowers indoors is through decoration, hanging botanical prints, pairing them with burlap, or placing them in vintage frames. Or perhaps you can gather dry flowers and create a delicate wall ornament, something that feels a piece of spring gently preserved. For your home. There is something deeply comforting in small rituals for ourselves or our home. You can start by letting a simmer pot quietly fill your home with warmth, a soft scent lingering in the background of your day. A thorough spring cleaning can feel less like a task and more like a reset, a way of making space for a new season. And sometimes it's the smallest changes that matter most. Moving things around, adding little vases with white flowers, colorful candles, or hanging wicker baskets until suddenly everything feels new again. And even the smallest details can feel special, like filling tiny lavender bags to bring a comforting scent into your wardrobe and prevent moths. You can also use old socks for this. Analog pastimes. Some days are meant to be slower, filled with simple analog joys. You might spend an afternoon with a jigsaw puzzle or a quiet game like Sudoku, something to keep your mind busy while your body rests. Or returning to journaling, writing about the films you've watched, the books you've loved, the flowers you've noticed, little moments collected like glimmers. Creating a reading nook, even just for an afternoon, can change the entire feeling of a day. Children's books can also be a gentle refuge. When it's hard to focus, you can follow a few soft words or simply immerse yourself in the illustrations. You might even play with the idea of who you are in this season, putting together a spring outfit, imagining a small story, becoming a botanist, a librarian, or any character that resonates with you. And when curiosity begins to bloom again, you can follow it gently, learning something new, slowly, without pressure, simply for the joy of it. Close to nature. Connecting with nature is perhaps the most important ritual of all. It can be as hands-on as gardening, planting herbs for your kitchen, tending to a balcony, or even starting a small compost, or as simple as stepping outside, walking through a park, visiting a botanical garden, or just noticing the quiet changes in the air. Recipes. Shall we start with something utterly delicious and beautiful? Spring is all about colors and flowers and whimsy, so let's bring our childhood imagination to our table. These recipes should feel like sunshine on your face and taste like grandma's biscuits. Tea time treats. For something simple and comforting, I love making shortbread cookies. Sometimes tucked in the little pots, sometimes with soft pink icing, sometimes with cute shapes. If you're looking for recipes, you can find them in my blog, and I also have some ebooks on Etsy. And if I want something more playful, flower pattern biscuits or colorful custard tartlets always feel like spring on a plate. A dual chocolate log is one of those recipes that goes well in every season. But to make it more spring-like, you can garnish it with edible flowers and colorful nuts. And for slower afternoons, tea party sandwiches bring that elegant, nostalgic feeling, like stepping into a Jane Austen novel. Colorful savory. When I feel like baking something more rustic, garden focaccia fills the kitchen with the most comforting aroma. Rosemary, garlic, sage, like bringing the outdoors in. And for something a bit more creative, colorful pasta in stripe or a flower pattern makes even a simple meal feel whimsical. Wholesome and cozy. On busy mornings and tired evenings, porridge is one of those small, steady comforts. You can decorate it with fruits, nuts, and edible flowers and create your own masterpiece. Or if you prefer, an easy vanilla pudding that only requires 2 ingredients: vanilla soy milk and cornstarch. And carrot and oat bites are perfect when you want something sweet but still healthy. Simple spring snacks. Sometimes it doesn't need to be complicated. Figs, apricots, and dates with little toppings can feel just as special. And of course, decorating cookies and cakes, salads and bread, or any food you have at home with edible flowers is a wonderful way to create whimsy. It's less about perfection and more about enjoying the process. There's a saying in Spanish I've always loved: a full belly, a happy heart. So now we can begin to explore little cozy ideas to pair with these moments or to enjoy before and long after that happy heart feeling. Here are some ways to soften a busy day and bring a bit of spring magic into ordinary moments. Movies and series. Let me share some of my favorite films and series. For those moments we want to escape into a different world or be entertained and amused. When I'm longing for nature and gentleness, I always return to stories like The Secret Garden, Ant with an E, or All Creatures Great and Small. Heidi and This Beautiful Fantastic carried that same softness, simple lives, small transformations, and finding beauty where you are. For something a little more whimsical, Amélie and Big Fish always feel like little daydreams, full of magic hidden in everyday life, even when life feels heavy. And stories like Finding Neverland or Tag Everlasting feel almost like reflections on time and how we choose to live it. Whenever I need comfort, I return to animated worlds like Studio Ghibli Kiki's Delivery Service, Arrietty, or Whisper of the Heart. They always feel like a warm hug, creative and inspiring. For something rooted in books and history, I love the Guernsey Literary and Potato Peel Pie Society, Downton Abbey, Becoming Jane, and Miss Potter. Stories about creativity, writing, love, loss, and kindness. And sometimes I'm in the mood for something a little lighter, like Enola Holmes, Bridgerton, or The Lady's Companion. For those who love 𝐉𝐸𝐻 books, you might enjoy their animated series, The Enchanted World of 𝐉𝐸𝐻. It's available on YouTube. I also love documentaries or historical shows that let you step into another time, like Victorian House of Arts and Crafts, Lucy Worsley's Jane Austen, Behind Closed Doors, Beatrix Potter, The Secret Life of a Victorian Genius, or The Great Pottery Throwdown. The Farm series with Ruth Gutman or Turn Back Time, The High Street by the BBC are also very interesting. Just be aware that I always need to skip scenes with hunting, butchering or cooking with meat. And for those who love anime, Frieden is a quiet, thoughtful journey full of cozy and funny moments about time, memory and what stays with us. The Apothecary Diaries is on my watch list as well, and was recommended by a few friends. Books. As it couldn't be any other way, books are also a must in this video. These are the ones I return to for comfort, whether through their stories or their illustrations. You can find all my recommendations in my blog. When it comes to nature and flowers, I love books that help me notice the small details, learning the names, meanings, beauty around us. Some of the titles are How to Be a Wildflower, Floriography, Wildflowers of Britain, Month by Month, Wildflowers of Britain and Northern Europe, and Jane Austen's Garden. For cozy living, I always find inspiration in books about baking, slow routines, and simple rituals, like the cottagecore baking book and the Green Witch. When I want to escape, I reach for gentle fantasy, stories filled with fairies, nature, and a sense of wonder, like by 𝐻𝐸, 𝐸𝐻𝐸, and 𝐸, A Natural History of Fairies and Fairy Oak. Sometimes the greatest comfort comes from children's books, the ones we've known for years, or the ones that simply feel kind and familiar, like 𝐉𝐸𝐻𝐸 and My Phone Hello Bedtime Book. They're such a gentle refuge when it's hard to focus. When it comes to timeless stories that feels like coming home, I always have to include Anne of Green Gables and Little Women. I think there's a little bit of Anne or Jo March in me. And for more modern, atmospheric stories, I love books that blend everyday life with a touch of magic, like Flower Heart, The Vanishing Cherry Blossom Bookshop, and The Rainfall Market. Maybe life doesn't always look the way we imagined. Sometimes it feels like something is always just out of reach. But even then, there are still these moments, soft, fleeting, and full of a quiet kind of beauty. Moments that ask nothing from us except to be noticed. And perhaps that's what spring really is about. Little by little, moment by moment, learning to notice and learning to bloom in our own time.